In spite of all the positive encouragement by the government when it comes to hiring senior workers, there's still a hiring preference for younger workers. So do employers and younger workers in Singapore have an ageist mentality? Sattar.
It's very sad to say this, but from my experience in consulting engagement with organizations over the years, the reality is that, yes, I think many employers, businesses, and even HR practitioners sometimes do demonstrate that.
Why is that? What reasons do they give?
Well, I think it's the perception of the older workers for two reasons. One is that the older workers perhaps could be less agile, less flexible. It's high salary, obviously, because the years experience compared to the younger counterpart. Also, the younger worker are more flexible, nimble, career mobility,
and they're cheaper.
Cheaper, of course, yeah. And so that's the merit. The other thing is that from my discussion with a lot of managers, supervisors, sometimes they don't know how to manage this
senior worker.
I mean, they say, look, hey, these are younger managers who are now in the position, the Gen X managers, now the Gen Y coming into the leadership position. They find it difficult to manage and trying to collaborate with these older, more matured workers.
I disagree with that, Melanie. First of all, I think the leadership in these organizations is lacking. And secondly, these organizations are very hierarchical and not flat. I mean, older people or younger people bring diversity to a workplace. So we can learn from each other, older and younger. And in fact, from my limited experience, younger people tend to leave an organization quicker. They want to move to somewhere else. While an older person stays longer, has got institutional memory, which will then make the processes work much more smoothly. And within the future, this is going to work even better because the older worker will be more educated, will be much more productive, and is going to keep up. So the picture cannot get any more dismal than what it is now. The best is yet to come.
So a mindset change is needed, but in order to do this, should Singapore thus have an anti-age discrimination law like they have in Australia and the US then?
Yes, they should, because this doesn't apply just to older workers. It applies to many PMEs, the professionals, managers and executives who are in their 40s and 50s. If they lose their job, they can't find one again. Our Deputy Prime Minister, Tharman Shanmugaratnam, he said that there is definitely some ageism that is preventing them from getting a new job, and something has to be done about it. And one thing that can be done is the age discrimination law.
My view is that at this point in time, I think there's a need to educate employers. There's more work to be done by TAFEP, the tripartite of the fire.
So a softer approach.
Yeah. Why can't they go together?
Well,
the hard and the soft.
Yes, together. Well, I mean, what is the harm?
I think the most important is I think we have to be careful not to have such laws, drastic laws, which will make it very difficult for businesses to operate. I think, but we need to ensure that the companies understand there are best practices. For example, is the best person for the job.
But that is why in Singapore we are not having enough people to work, because businesses are doing this sort of discrimination.
Yeah, but